If you want to be a master, don't be limited to studying just what your curriculum tells you to go beyond this. Video is sponsored by Skillshare, online learning platform where you can learn anything you want from the world's best teachers at the click of a button. So click the link down below in the description to get your hands on a special offer. Welcome to part 4 of the Being a Remarkable Student series, and today I'm not going to talk about a technique. I'm not going to talk just about a scientific study that helps you to boost your intelligence, or why you need to focus on your why, or anything like that, because before any of those things we need to take a good hard look at one of the main blocks that most of us have when it comes to achieving a true potential in life. And it's not just about how we revise all those specific ways we learn or anything like that. It's far more simple, and that thing is social media prediction. Let's be honest, many of you are addicted if you want to be motivated, if you want to make a difference to the world, if you want to be a remarkable student. Just remove the obstacles and distractions from your path. So let's understand together what are 5 ways that social media addiction is slowly ruining your life. And the first thing I want you to realize is the most important studies show numerous times a link between loneliness, anxiety, depression, and social media. As human beings, we have fundamental needs to relate and to belong, and in recent decades, with the development of all these technologies, all of these apps, all of these smartphones, there is a rapid rise of being able to access the internet at any given moment, of being able to communicate at any given moment. And so the way that we use social media, the way we use the internet, is dramatically changed, and with it our primal brains. They haven't. Social media platforms are everywhere, and they're so easy to access, but staying focused, doing that essay or assignment you're supposed to do, getting that work done that you're supposed to do, that stays hard. So let me be clear, if you have any doubt in your mind how easy addiction can be, and I caught this from a study you can access in the description below. Social media addiction has been found to be associated with a host of emotional, relational health, and performance problems. And there's not just one study. I found there are numerous studies in 2010, 2011, 2017 to 2018, but I want you to understand the causes, the consequences of being addicted. And before we move into the remedies, is of critical importance that in your quest to being a remarkable student, understand you can't minimize this problem. You cannot heal what you continue to deny. So let's be honest about our addictions. How often are you using social media? How often do you unlock your phone to see if there's a new notification? How often do you stop yourself from doing that focused task to see what's going on your phone number? 2. It's changing your brain structure. Quite literally, the way the internet itself and social media works. It hacks into a bug in your brain that loves getting short bursts of dopamine, which is released every time you check a notification, every time you open the app. And there is a great book called The Shallows, which shows us exactly how this works. We are being conditioned to always be reactive, always be waiting for the next ding, ping, or notification from our mobile phones. There are studies that have been shown. There are programmers who have openly admitted these apps have been designed by the same people who design gambling machines in your local casino. Every time you play on a slot machine, you're waiting for the next novelty, you're waiting for the next hit of dopamine, and when you flick your phone down to refresh your feed to see the latest post, the latest video, it is the same thing at play. And over time, what happens is we lose the ability to develop what Cal Newport in his book talks about as a deep work, deep focus, where we're spending hours lost in the assignment, the task that we need to get done. So be careful the way you use these apps, because it's changing the structure of your brain. Number 3 is what Mel Robbins talks about in her book, The 5-Second Rule, that every time we hesitate on doing something we know we should get done, we move into what's known as a spotlight effect, where we hesitate and our brain believes that there's more of a threat than there actually is. And so the more we train ourselves to hesitate, the longer we hesitate for. And if you throw digital media, social media into this mix, where when you hesitate for 5 seconds or more when you're supposed to sit down and focus for the next 2 hours, but you look at Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your app is, and then you're lost for half an hour looking at what other people are doing. And this brings me to point number 4. Unreal expectations of real life. Understand that what we are getting when we look at people's feeds, when we look at people's lives, we're getting a perfect filtered version of somebody else's life, but not the messy behind the scenes, because not everybody is sharing vulnerably and authentically. But also realize that there are many accounts on social media that they're companies looking to make a profit. They're companies looking to get paid off of your views and likes. And so when you judge your own life against the friend in your class or the colleague at work, how is that making you feel? Become more aware of how you talk to yourself, how you react when you're feeding your mind and your heart with all of these things. And let's move now to the final point. Digital Minimalism, another great book by one of my favorite authors, Cal Newport. He says in his book, the more you seek that validation, the more masters you serve, and that dopamine it messes with your mind. You seek interaction, but digital, like it gives you nothing. You can't compare 30 likes to 30 seconds of a warm hug from your favorite person in this world. So you feel empty and you end up chasing more and more hits. And studies show that there are links to the brains of drug addicts and social media addicts. Similar pathways light up in the brain, and that link alone is enough to warrant a degree of worry. And so let's talk about where we go from here. What are the final things that we can do to ensure that we manage our addiction and we use it for the greatest good with the most minimal use? And the first thing that I've done is disable all notifications, so I'm less distracted. I'm less likely to check when my phone tells me I want to check. Tailor your feeds. This is my favorite tool of all. Follow uplifting and positive people. You don't have to get rid of social media. It's not a negative thing, but you need to be aware of its dangers. Don't follow negative people or unrealistic lifestyles and celebrities that are posting stuff that's going to get you distracted in any way, shape, or form. Find people who give you nutrition and not addiction. On iPhones, you can now set timers to restrict the amount you look at certain apps per day. One of the things I also like to do when you're working, always put your phone out of sight in another room. That way you're not going to look at your phone, you're not going to see the light flashing that there's another notification working for you. Ask yourself, why do I use social media? Is it because everyone else is using it, or is it because it helps me to achieve my goals? Be intentional, be a cause, not an effect. So let's recap on what we've learned in today's video. Number 1, studies show there is a link between social media usage and depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Number 2, every time you use it, the way your brain works is changing. Number 3, the spotlight effect. It creates hesitation and can feed your ego in an unhealthy way, where it creates. Number 4, unreal expectations of your life. We don't need to look a certain way. We don't need a perfect body like we may see on our Instagram feeds. And number 5, practice digital minimalism. Look for the greatest return you can get for the most minimal use. Special thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video today. For those who really want to take it to the next level and really commit, Skillshare is a must. Skillshare is an online learning community for all of you who are interested in the 25,000 classes on everything from how to write essays, how to improve your productivity, how to manage your stress. 2020 is not far away now. If there was one course that I recommend to everyone listening or watching, it would be the productivity class by my fellow YouTuber Thomas Frank. Skillshare is also super affordable. Annual subscription is less than $10 a month. The first 500 people to use the link in the description are going to get a 2-month free trial, so you can use it. Check out all these amazing courses and benefit yourself and your community. You